It's a brisk afternoon here in Innsmouth Hive as the Underhive gets slammed by another massive razor ice storm. I'm sure the sun is shining for the uppers. The Corridor 54 Headhunter has struck again, leaving another 3 headless bodies on sublevel 12, this time right outside the old Carastus weapon manufactorum. I don't know, what do you guys think about this killer? He keeps striking and no one seems to know how to stop him or where to find him next.
Well, he hasn't killed anybody I don't know, or I know, so keep doing what you're doing, boo-boo.
Good for him.
That's right,
Yeah,
just don't get too close.
Everybody needs a hobby.
Good for him.
Everybody needs a hobby.
He found love in a hopeless place.
We are 665.66 UHMR Chemrat Radio, your safety in the long darkness of those oft-forgotten alleyways we call life. I am your zany xenobiologist Goblin King, and I am joined today by our planetary cartographer Marky.
It's brisk, baby.
I'm gonna
got
keep
it
giving
anyway.
you map jobs. I'm gonna keep giving you map jobs.
Don't do that. I was like, cartographer? That sounds mappy.
That's the guy who makes
mappy.
maps.
I was like, that sounds mappy. Don't do that.
Our expedition pathfinder with his oversized chain machete beast.
Oversized what? Oh, chain machete. Gotcha.
That thing you carry with you all the time.
Between my legs? Oh, yeah.
Well, where else are you
Nah,
going?
I'm just kidding. It's really small.
What?
It's actually extremely small.
No.
Let's not bring it up again.
It's got a lot of teeth and it's real fast.
Not all of us can be Kevin carrying around that 12-inch metal schlong.
Leg. So what's up with your third leg?
Oh my god, dude!
It's a
All of this shit
kickstand, bro.
about people microwaving it, Kevin falls over.
Don't use the microwave. We'll have a stroke.
The Omniscience be praised. Speaking of Kevin, he won't be joining us today as we've sent him off on assignment to the death world of Magrathea.
Kevin's dead.
We'll check it. Well, we did send him to a death world.
Kevin's dead. He's
So
not coming
riffing off of last episode, guys, this episode we are going to make a world. We're going to brainstorm a world right here on the podcast. So
Right here and now.
I don't know that song.
I don't know. I fucked it up. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I liked what you had. I would have just rolled with it if you had kept going. Bro.
I liked what you had.
I picked up what you were putting
Remember
down.
when you're the, remember
Been a
last
star.
remember last episode when you're like, yeah, Earth's an M-type planet, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds right, and then it just
that
kept
shit
going,
was-
and then like 3 minutes later, Tom's like, oh, that's some Star Trek bullshit.
that
Like, just keep running with it, man.
That shit was fucking hilarious. When you're like, you just randomly started laughing. You're like, I just remembered that's a Star Trek reference. I was like, oh, all right.
So if you guys join us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Under the Hive of Madness, it's a pretty good way to get a little bit more interaction with us, a little bit more interaction with the community. It opens up a couple of things. First, right off the bat, it opens up the possibility for you to be involved with our painting contests, which we think are pretty cool. We've got some new kind of methods for how we're going to do those videos, kind of brainstorming and percolating a little bit. Another thing that you get access to, though, are video versions of the podcast. So not only do you get to see the video as we are recording it right now, but you also get to hear all of our bloopers, all of our fuck ups, all the times that I stumble over words I shouldn't stumble over. Like it's
Anything in common English.
anything in grammar. The reason I bring it up
You
is
also
in this
get the
particular
uncut version of
episode.
all my dick jokes.
Yeah, because then I don't edit that out. I just leave it in, and then people are like, "Oh, that's what that weird gap." No,
You gotta be careful.
That's why.
so
Mark's
that
talking
weird
about
gap
back
in my
again.
teeth was from.
You got to be careful leaving it in, man. That's how you get children.
Watch out, Chuck.
I practice the pull-out
So-
game every game.
Every game.
As part of the video that we've got going on right now, we've got a list pulled up of the major classifications, the secondary classifications, the general planet classifications, and the Xenos and Chaos planet classifications as far as Warhammer 40k is concerned.
Ooh, this.
We also have a little dice camera, and we've got a 10-sided die and a 6-sided die.
This planet we create right now, it should be.
Pussy Planet.
The second he was like, "We're gonna randomize this planet," I was like, "Mark's just gonna fuck this up." Like, just gonna use the entire thing to like be a fucking dickhead.
Yep.
It's the planet of fleshlights.
Yeah, exactly. It's just gonna be like, I'm like, oh, cool.
I need Kevin here to be like, Mark's being a shit again.
Yeah, right. I was like, no, eventually, as soon as I'm done drinking my Monster, it's gonna start punching you.
Just every
But
time.
my hands busy. No, I think this should be the first planet in the Crusade.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
well-
I like that idea.
not the
Up the
Byzantine
stakes
Crusade.
a little bit.
Honestly, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, we just need to start a Crusade game.
Okay.
I'm tired of it. We need to fucking start it. We have the schedule.
Putting his
now.
fucking foot down right
Yeah,
now.
well, there's two things that we need to do. We talked about it in the last couple episodes, and
Yep.
bringing it up. We need to do the RP, the Death
Yep.
Watch RP, and we need to start a Crusade.
Yeah.
Those are two
Yep.
things we've been talking about since episode 1 of the podcast. And what are we on now? Episode fucking 742?
Get on it. Skip
25.
Though actually, to think about that though, that's really not bad. Like,
What?
we have about half of a year's worth, right? But we've
little
already
over
made
half, yeah.
like pretty decent progress, I guess. Like, I mean, we're no Joe Rogan show, but we definitely have a Discord,
Speak
we
for
have a
yourself.
Patreon,
Very
we have
good.
a fucking.
I'm talking about all the controversial shit.
Yeah, but no one's listening to you.
You fucking beat me to it, dude. I was like, yeah,
Exactly.
but nobody listens to anything you say.
And that's why I make
That's the
best
hot
Joe
take.
Rogan.
Yeah, because no
I
one
just
listens
asked
to him either.
I just asked the questions. I'm not answering anything.
Speaking of, as we get to closing in on our first year of episodes, I don't even know why I said close to. It's like 4 months away.
Yeah, it's
but yeah,
not-
guys, share as much
Eternally
as you
close.
can. Let everybody know about our podcast because we want more people to know that we exist. We think that it's pretty cool. You guys all seem to think it's pretty cool. So yeah, share us, give us likes. Those likes, those subscribes, those reviews, they all really help us. And I'm sure you'll hear me say it here at the end of the episode too. But yeah, to
Or
get
we suck and
into,
we'll just stay at 2 listeners for the rest of my life.
we got three. Okay.
We got 3. Oh,
I
sorry.
mean, I'm wait. Do we not count our parents?
I literally
We have 0.
I literally use this just so I could play the game. Like, oh, I have a podcast. I clearly have to play Warhammer because I guarantee you, if I didn't do this podcast, I probably would stop playing Warhammer.
Why?
I don't know.
What?
Just because that's the way my fucking brain works. Like,
Really?
if I'm not, I'm one of those people that I'm like, if I get into something, I have to like balls deep. Like, I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, I
just
get
like
that.
skim along the surface. Like, I won't keep it. I won't keep going.
With me, it's more like a cycle thing. Like I'll cycle between games, playing 40k, or something else entirely. It used to be paintball. It was like paintball, video games, 40k. Those were the cycles. And then like whenever I'd get burnt out, I'd switch to the next one.
Yeah. See, like I burn out and then I never touch it again.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Okay. Well, you can never.
well,
be
no.
that.
So I mean, that's kind of the benefit is like this having the
burn out.
podcast. I've been able to like level myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not
There you go,
like
man.
I'm not letting you quit.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like,
Oh no!
ultimately,
Don't do that.
no.
Stay here.
Ultimately, the biggest saving grace, like funny enough, was COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was for a lot.
That
of
was a
people.
huge saving grace because that gave
Yeah.
me so much time to build
and hobby. Yeah.
and hobby, and I
Then
was
you have all
like,
that
"This is
sunk-
why I have this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have all
There-
that sunk cost fallacy. You gotta
Yeah,
stay
like-
here.
well, because
Hobby.
if I
There's
still had-
definitely-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's definitely a huge part of this that is the hobby side, and like you have to be able to find that like cathartic balance of building and painting and enjoying, because a lot of times, we've got a really good group, we've got a really good dynamic. I feel like our Discord community is a good extension of that group, and a lot of the guys that I'm starting to meet and play with here, I'm finding that I have to be really careful with how I approach games, because there's a lot of try hard in the game side of the hobby. There's a lot of like, I have to be the best. And not that there's anything wrong with that. That's obviously being super competitive and being super go get 'em is obviously certain people's ways of enjoying the game. But I don't want to be beaten up constantly. And I feel like
that's-
this is the game where you can get into that cycle where you just lose.
This is
Well,
gonna
that's
start-
what I was. That's what I was gonna say. Is the COVID gave me that ability to sit at home and build Imperial Knights, because if I was continuing to play Tau right now, I would have fucking.
Oh
quit.
yeah.
I would have absolutely
All
quit.
right, I'm gonna stop this conversation right here because we need to talk about planets and I'm gonna have last word. And
It's not because he wants to talk. It's not because he wants to do the episode. It's because he wants to have the last
It's like
word.
Jerry Springer. He's like, now it's time for my final thought.
You're a whore. You're the father.
That's exactly.
So yeah.
Go
Wrap
beat
us
him
in
up.
and then
Yeah, and then, yeah, he's coming with the steel chair.
Watch out!
wrap us up.
John
and
Cena.
then we'll talk.
Well,
Jesus,
John,
John Cena. Oh shit! Is he behind me? I can't see him. Is he behind me?
He's
so
at my
you still
house.
got. I was listening. You got to bring the card.
I know. He's at my house.
No, but my thought was there's different mentalities that everybody's getting in, and I kind of lost my way. I'm not gonna lie, because I started playing competitively in the past like couple years. I definitely lost my way.
Fucked up.
No, I lost my way to how I originally started playing this game and why. Until I watched a mini wargaming episode with Dave playing somebody, and Dave was like, "You know what? I'm not playing this to win. I'm playing this because I want a cool interaction. I'm not doing this because it's the most tactical thing to do. I'm doing this because that's what that character would do, or that's what I would do." And like saying that, it was like, "Oh fuck! I totally forgot that is why I play this game to have fun."
So what? You just realized that like yesterday?
No, it was a while ago.
Oh, you're still playing
Well,
competitively though.
I mean,
I'm playing.
I haven't unlocked my full potential.
Oh no, I learned this a while ago. I'm like, because you're still a piece of shit.
Hey, you guys haven't felt the wrath yet.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I felt the wrath more times than fucking anybody.
Tom felt it for like, hey,
Yeah, I'm the one getting my ass
Hey, Mark,
snapped over here.
Hey Mark, how many times have I won against you? That's right. I felt the wrath too.
Yeah, but that's also because like
You haven't felt the wrath. I've died in turn 2, asshole. I felt the wrath.
It's also because you fucking use a different army every other goddamn day.
That's true. I mean, you got him. You smoke him if you got him. You know,
Right? Exactly. Right?
No, you smoke him if he got him.
I just smoked the entire fucking army. I've been playing a little bit more competitively here, and it's okay to play competitively, but a lot of people ask me. I've been asked a couple of times, like, well, why haven't we seen this army yet? You know, we've seen pictures of it. We've heard you talk about it. Why haven't you played your Eldar, your Exodites here? And I'm like, well, because I'm working on them. And they're like, well, why don't you finish them this weekend? And the point of the hobby that I'm in.
Why don't you do better? God.
Yeah, right. The point of the hobby that I'm in is I want to take 6 months.
you want to enjoy the
bash
hobby.
Yeah.
absolutely everything in the army
Yeah, you're
to
enjoying
what I
it.
want.
Oh yeah.
It's old school. It's old head mentality of 40k. You know, GW wasn't releasing shit every week. You know, back in the early 2000s, they were releasing shit like maybe every quarter, and you wouldn't get like a commercial for it. It would just show up on the shelves, and you'd be like, "Holy fuck!" And this white dwarf, like, there's this new thing.
The big thing I've realized now about like how a lot of people are playing and building is they're doing everything all at once.
Right.
Back when we would do like, okay, I've got this, and then you play that till you're like, all right, I need something else, and then you would go and get something else. Now it's like people are out there and they're just like, I need all of this.
Yeah, this is the new. This is the meta right now.
Yeah.
This is what I'm buying. This is what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. This sucks now. I need to buy a new army, or I need to sell
That's
this
what,
half.
dude. eBay, bro.
Yeah,
because you know, I mean, I'm sure people on the podcast also know, like I'm a eBay whore. Like,
same here.
I'm all over eBay at all times. I'm constantly checking it, and you can see like fucking follow the algorithm. Like it's like what's for sale right now, and it's like all this shit, and you're like, wow, all this stuff sucks right now.
I wonder. Yeah,
but at the same time, if you're a collector and if you're a hobbyer, that's a great place to go. You know, might as well collect, and you might as well enjoy the hobby part of it. And I've settled into that. I've got my Tyranids, and I've got my Tyranid list that I like to run. You guys have played my Tyranid list 4 times at this point.
Yeah,
I've got my Necron lists that I like to run. You guys have played that, or you guys have seen that played. So
yeah.
Somebody was showing a Tyranid meme the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good! I have to show the guys." And it's like being a Tyranid player, what you expect, and it's like Starship Troopers and fucking giant
all
monsters,
the arachnids,
right? Yeah, and it's like what you actually get, and then it's the scene from 300, and it was like arrows coming, but it's like they're like the Hive Guard,
yeah.
And they're just like ha 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 as they're like blocking all the arrows. And I was like, "Wow,
That's
fuck!"
accurate. It's actually a custode instead of a Spartan.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of a shield, it's his chest.
Yeah, that's even better.
He's just oiling it up. He's like, I'm not even gonna wear armor.
Yeah.
That's why, like, one of our was talking about Custodes, and he wanted like a shield formation name or something like that on Discord. Because I had just
Mullins.
Mullins. Because I had just done the name for the Necron Dynasty thing.
Yeah.
And I looked into it and I was like, oh, what is this shield thing? Because I don't know anything about Custodes. I started looking into it.
It's new rules.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, this is cool. Maybe I should start a Custodes. No, stop. Like, I literally was like, man, these guys are cool. Maybe I should stop.
Don't do it. That road leads to ruin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I'm just an enabler.
Yeah, well, because you want Thunder Warriors, and I get that.
Yeah.
I'm so close, like...
I'm at the point where it's going to be a kill team. Like, it will be a kill team eventually.
Oh, yeah. And that's the way to do it. If you want to do this little concept and that little concept, you just do kill teams.
I'm going to make it Imperial Knight.
But yeah,
just like,
what?
It's just a foot.
It's just a foot.
I still like the idea of like running a kill team operation, and the entire idea is that your what do you call them? The Death Guard? Not the Death Guard.
Death Watch?
The Death's Watch?
Death Watch?
The Night's Watch? The Night's Watch.
Oh.
You bring in the Night's Watch, and then, like, we're playing something else. And our entire objective is to keep you from getting to the downed knight, and your entire objective is to retrieve the knight. And that's it. That's the entire kill team
It's like
mission.
the top half of the perfume.
I'd be down for that. I'm actually kind of shelving the Night's Watch idea right now.
Oh, you think you're going to scrub it?
No, I'm just not going to do Space Marines. Like, I mean, the whole Night's Watch thing was made because it was like, oh, I have these Space Marines for a kill team. It works for the kill team, I guess, but I don't want
it. Doesn't really work. It doesn't really work.
Well, I don't. I'm a full-blooded Imperial Knight player now. I don't have.
You don't run people.
Yeah, I don't run infantry. I have armigers for that. So
I mean, it could always be part of the lore. You have the models, but like, it's not something that you're going to run in games.
Exactly. Yeah. I already have them. They're there. They exist. Okay, but because I'm just the armigers are gonna be the Night's Watch.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm only gonna talk about. I mean, we could still talk about it, but I'm only gonna admit to armigers or Night's Watch.
I'm gonna bring it up all the time. Where's your Space Marines?
Yeah, I know.
Just be like, shut the.
All right, guys. So I think it is time to refocus. Last episode, we talked about the different Imperial planet classifications. We talked a little bit about some of the stuff that happens in sci-fi, some of the tropes and all of that, and then we had planned to get into a chunk of the episode where we actually developed a world, or we talked about worlds that we would want to develop. And instead of doing that, we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to roll on some random charts here and come up with a world live on the podcast, or live on the podcast. And then you guys can listen to it later when it's not live because we recorded it.
Live and then record it
live
and play
for
it for you later.
It's recorded for you. So to run down what we're doing. And again, if you join us on Patreon, you can see a little bit of video. You can watch our dice rolls and you can see what we're doing. We're going to first roll on the major classification table. So the major classification table is Agro World, which is a 1, Civilized World, which would be a result of 2, Dead World, which would be a result of 3. Now, I currently have that set to roll again, but if you guys wanted to develop a Dead World, I guess we could, and then we could either say, we're going to do another one because we developed a Dead World, or we could say, here's something that happened in its past and figure that out when we get to it.
Yeah, and I think you can probably post this table up.
Yeah, we'll post it in the Discord. Number 4 is a Death World. Number 5 is a Hive World. Number 6 is a Feudal World. Number 7 is a Research Station. 8 is Forge World. 9 is Feral World. And breaking with the classic interpretations, the classic classifications, number 10 is a Frontier World. Now, I kind of talked about this last time. I use Frontier World when I'm developing planets in 40K because I think that it's kind of the missing designation. These are worlds that have been settled, but they're on the
fringe planets or fringe systems.
Yeah. It's a world where the majority of the world isn't really explored. There might be a couple of Imperial bases, but no one has really pushed that far into the world yet. They're not developed.
It's a world outside of the web, the World Wide Web. There was the cube.
All right, guys.
So
we've got
the reference. What's the reference?
We've got our D10 here. Are you guys ready? I'm going to roll our first for our major classification.
Let's hear it.
You guys have any predictions? Anything you want to see?
7.
Pussy Planet.
All right, so we got a 4, which is a death world. You guys happy with that?
Fucking of course.
Yes.
Hell yeah. All right, so Death
know
Worlds
this
so Death Worlds, to remind you guys, real famous Death World would be Catachan. This is everything on the world is actively trying to kill you. It is
Yep, a lot
adverse
of,
to human life.
A lot of Space Marine dedicated planets are Death Worlds.
House Byzantine, it is Prince Eric's Atlantia.
Oh,
That's right. You were talking
just
about it earlier.
that. Yeah, with the Patriots.
Atlantia
yeah.
is a death world.
You got
All right, guys.
that
So our
Sharktopus.
secondary
Or
classifications.
Atlantica, I think it is.
I like Atlantica.
Atlantica. I wrote it down. I can't remember.
You wrote it down.
Roll it, Kevin.
So our secondary classifications. I gotta tell people what we're doing before I fucking roll, brother. Our secondary classifications. Number 1 is Adeptus Astartes homeworld. Number 2 is a cardinal world. Number 3 is a fortress world. Number 4 is an industrial world. Number 5 is a night world. Number 6 is a mining world. Number 7, we probably will need to re-roll because that's Paradise World. I don't think you can have a Death Paradise World. I'm gonna
Oh
rule
yeah,
that
you can.
can't have that.
Atlantica is a paradise.
Slanesh world would technically be that.
Yeah, it depends on how Slaneshi
You're
would
right.
be.
Yeah.
8 is a
dig-
penal world.
that.
A 9 is a shrine world, and a 10 will be a Xenos.
I think we can
or
come up with
demon
something
world.
pretty funny for a Death Paradise world. That'd be
Fuck it, we'll do it.
yeah.
We'll do it.
It's a
All right.
it's a-
Ain't no re-roll.
Let's see what we roll.
do not challenge
We're
me.
previously recorded live.
Previously recorded live. All right, so this is a death world, and I just rolled an 8, so it is a penal world. So this is
nice.
a world
Sick.
given over
I
to.
already have ideas.
Crematoria.
Yeah.
Crematoria right now. Crematoria.
There you go. All right, now we're on to our D6. So our general planet classifications are a desert world, which would be a world real close to the sun. An ice world is a world a little bit further away. A jungle world somewhere in the middle. An ocean world, majority of the world is ocean. A gas giant, which I think has a lot of really cool things we can do with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then a terraformed world.
I think I shit myself.
Gas giant's just like, just
Emmett's not
eternally
even in
falling.
here.
Just eternally falling.
All right. So that's a 4. That's an ocean world. So we have a death world,
Nice.
penal world,
Tom already.
ocean world.
I have some
I'm
ideas
like,
too.
I'm like half there right now.
I already got some
All right,
ideas.
guys. So our last set is Xenos and Chaos Planet classifications. So on a roll of a 1, this is also an Exodite world. On a roll of a 2, this is also a Tomb world. On a roll of a 3, it's a terraformed Eldar world, which is a Maiden world. On a roll of 4, it's infested with orcs. On a roll of 5, it's infested with Tau. I'm just kidding. On a roll of 5, Tau claim it. On a roll of
infested.
6, we are somehow turning all of this bullshit into a craft world, which I honestly think would be super fun.
Yep.
Figuring out how to make that work. On a roll of 7, it is a minor Xenos race, and on a roll of 8, it is it is a homeworld to a Traitor Legion. Now I am rolling a D10, so the way that this is going to work is we are subtracting 2 from it.
Just make it lesser Xenos if it's a 9 or 10.
If it's a 9 or 10,
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's going to be more lesser.
There's going to be more
Xeno.
of those.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Space spiders.
Plus, it leaves a little more room for the imagination.
And that's a 1. So this is an Exodite world.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's where the Exodites send their misbehaved to churn butter for the rest of time.
All right, so we've got a death world that's used as a penal colony by the Imperium. It is largely an ocean world, and at one point, it was inhabited by Exodites. So at some point in its past, the Eldar terraformed this planet for some reason.
Water.
Yeah.
Maybe it was ice
So
at
what
one
it-
point.
The poles are the largest land masses, right? So, well, for there, we'll say.
Yeah.
The poles are the largest land masses, right? And they're in like a Goldilocks zone because it circles around like a blue star.
We all come up with different ideas and then see what we like, and then we'll all make it one. Okay.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
mine.
The poles are the largest land masses, or the poles are the largest collection of land masses?
I would say that the poles are like, it's like imagine Waterworld, like Everest, you know?
Okay.
So it's the poles have like full like land masses, right? And that's where the exodites are. The penal colony is actually like oil rigs, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what the Imperium is using. They're put there for like oil or fucking whatever, right? On like oil rigs that go down into the water for mining.
I do.
So the Imperium doesn't actually know the exodites are there because they're like, well, why would we go to the poles? We don't need to.
Yeah, we're just trying to send people here because it's a penal planet, right?
Yeah. That's what I would say.
All right, so the Imperium is harvesting Promethean from the planet's crust
And the easiest
with
access.
oil rigs?
Yeah, like the easiest, it drills, and the easiest access is there's like a trench that goes along the equator, and so they're all along the equator. And then the poles are where the exodites are. So they've never actually like seen each other because the exodites are here,
yeah.
the Imperium is around.
The poles have the largest land masses, but we're talking like large islands, right? Not full continents.
Yeah, I was talking full continents. Because, like, that's the thing. It's like, okay, so imagine this, right? The planet, if you took out all the water, the planet looks like an apple that you ate.
Okay. So there's a northern and a southern continent.
Like an hourglass, right?
core.
Yeah, like an apple core, right?
Yeah.
So there's the top and the bottom where the poles, that's where the land masses are.
Yeah.
And then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper until it get to the equator.
I feel you.
Right? And Jaffiel?
Jaffiel.
And then the equator is the deepest portion, but it's also the thinnest where it gets to the core. And that's what the Imperium has developed, these oil rigs that go around the core, and they supply that with penal people. Penal people.
There is a northern pole and a southern pole continent, each about the size of...
Writing all this down, right?
Yep.
Just for the idea.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think the size of these land masses are? Are we talking like the United States? We talking like Antarctica?
North America, I would say. I'd say pretty big, but not big enough to where if you're at the equator, are you like even close to it?
I feel
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So the Imperium is harvesting Prometheum from the planet's crust with oil rigs. These are mostly centered around the equator, where
The crust
deep ocean trenches.
Yeah, the crust is at its thinnest. But it's also where all of the Leviathans are, which are like the deep sea
creatures. Yeah.
Okay. Deeper sea is infested with megafauna.
Yeah, which could be like splinters of...
old Tyranid fleets or something.
Yeah, I mean, they always use that.
I mean, it's an exodus.
Yeah,
world.
it seems like it's two.
I mean, it's just whatever.
Oh, that's true.
Lesser Xenos.
Yeah, there could be.
It's
All
just
right,
not
cool.
infested with lesser Xenos.
Yeah.
So mining on these oil rigs is dangerous because of the Leviathan.
So
and there needs to be something else. There needs to be something in the.
Ooh. You done with your idea?
Yeah, basically.
So my idea that I wanted to kind of throw in the hat was that at some point this planet was an ice planet, and it was struck by something that knocked it into I can't think of the word, but it's an orbit that is not circular. It's like
elliptical.
Irregular orbit.
Yeah, it's an irregular orbit that is still spinning. And at the furthest points of the star, the planet freezes over. And then at the closest point of the star, it becomes so hot that it's boiling the water. So it snows at the furthest part of the elliptical, and then it melts and it becomes like boiling at the closest part.
Oh, so it's constantly going through like a freeze and thaw.
Exactly.
I think boiling would not allow anything to live on the planet. I think we got to be more like.
Well,
so
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be water.
to-
It can be any kind of liquid that has a different boiling point than water.
Oil planet.
Something, right? I mean, oil might boil.
So-
It's a peanut oil planet. It has a high boiling
I was thinking like this happens here, as we see it every year as the planet heats up during, the later parts of the summer months and then into the beginning of fall is when we have all of the like really bad tornadoes and really bad hurricanes, because that's what happens as the surface water evaporates faster. It causes these big storm systems. And in an ocean world, you don't have anything to break those storm systems up. So you'll get these massive tropical storms that just wreck face.
Yeah, it just makes it just a gnarly death world, and it's a penile planet because I like the whole. I was also following along the lines of it being like oil rigs that they just drop like the dudes into the fucking close to the oil rig and they fish them out. If they survive, they survive. If not, whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, and like during those stormy seasons, the oil rig actually goes underneath
Sub water level.
Yeah.
I like that.
Remember that?
Like deep blue.
Remember
sea.
the sequences?
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
The sequences where they were getting close to the gene factories on what the fuck is the gene factory world in Star Wars, where they're making all
Camino?
the Boba Fett clones.
Oh,
Camino.
yeah.
And remember, like they're sweeping in on that scene, and you're seeing the factory, and those fucking waves are just like coming up, and you can see a bunch of the underwater complex gets revealed, and then the fucking like 80-foot or 180-foot swell comes back up and covers all of it.
Yeah.
It was sick. Yeah, so something.
All right, so
similar
the
to
planet used to be an ice world. It was knocked off its axis by collision with an asteroid,
that. Yeah, asteroid comet.
or was this artificially done?
Ooh,
Did the Eldar,
maybe
did the Eldar
artificially
do
done by the
this?
Eldar.
I'd say it was originally like a rocky, like volcanic world,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was hit by a meteor that was just ice.
Oh, okay.
And when it hit,
And
it
that
knocked
provided
it
the
off its
oceans?
orbit, and then that's what created the oceans.
And that's why it's not that's why it's not water. It's
and
like
that's
some
why,
other.
right, and that's why mining there is so crazy, because it was actually kind of like an asteroid.
So it's not like an oil rig. It's like a mineral.
Yeah,
rig
it's like
or something.
iron pyrite. Like that's what it's like mining, it's like that because it was actually just a giant chunk of rock.
Yeah.
That's now, and it increased in size by like a stupid amount because of all the water.
It'd have to be pretty massive in order to knock it out of orbit, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that makes sense why it
All right,
melted.
so the planet used to be a dead world.
Yeah, volcanic. It hit it so that like because it's just crust and it's all lava underneath. It was I guess absorbed so much of the impact.
Wrecked by massive volcanic activity,
Hit by a giant snowball.
but it was struck
Death
by
snowball.
A deadly
massive.
Fenrir's shit.
I was gonna say Fenris is like this, right? Fenris
Fenris-
has a similar
Kind of.
orbit to this, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, Fenris has a weird orbit where it gets really, really cold and it gets really ridiculously hot.
Right.
Okay, so then the planet was caught in
it's cold.
in a swarm of comets.
I dig that. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically your idea. It's just
Yeah.
making it a little easier to understand why they're
Swallowing
mining
it.
Right.
in a
Because if it's an
massive-
ice world, why are you
It
going to want to
adds
mine
to it.
ice? You
Yeah.
know?
I dig that.
Yeah. Because I mean that's
All right.
actually how Earth got water.
the whole idea of smashing comets into a planet that is in the Goldilocks zone would create water and would create an atmosphere. It's one of the it's one of the ways that we talk about terraforming now without having giant science
Terraforming
fancy.
machines.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
say
yeah.
you shoot stuff at it that contains water, so that when it hits, it turns to liquid, and then that's
Yeah, and if it has if you give it an artificial atmosphere, it'll retain it, right?
yeah. Or
Yeah,
if it
and
just
well-
has an atmosphere.
Right.
The different elements being released when the comet hits it will
Create an
will
atmosphere.
start to create air. Well, one of the other things they talked about is even smashing a large enough object into a tectonically dead world. You could crack the mantle and reactivate, not reactivate the core, but reactivate volcanic activity.
Is that kind of how it was on fucking Total Recall? They smashed something
Yes.
into the core of the planet.
Yeah, they
reactivated the atmosphere.
it was ice, and then they have the
Right.
heat pillars that melts the ice, causing
Right.
the chain reaction.
Gotcha.
And that's
Yeah.
what creates
It
the atmosphere.
reactivated the core.
Well, it melts the ice jumps up in plumes of steam. It reactivates the atmosphere,
right.
thus causing rain, and then
Yeah.
turning the ice.
That's how
into
Total
liquid.
Recall
Yeah.
kind of.
It goes from
scienced
it goes from ice to gas to liquid.
Yeah.
So I mean,
All right,
it's
so-
basically very similar. You go from ice to gas because it hits the planet,
Right.
And then it turns to these storms, and then it goes to liquid,
Yeah.
and then because it's on this weird
Axis or
axis
whatever.
now, it's freezing, and it basically is perpetually causing that.
Yeah. Okay. I dig it.
So their seasons are ice, steam, which is like storms,
Right.
and then liquid. So their summer is this perfect time where it's just ocean, and then it's it freezes back up.
It's paradise, and then it's not.
Yeah, well, it's
All right,
then
so
it's
So these impacts
liked it.
knock
I
I was
the
gonna say
planet.
one day out of the year it's paradise, but
everything else just fact.
or it's boiling or stormy or fucking.
Yeah, because it's that like tropical storm, so it's like hot and muggy and
it's like the eye of the storm.
It's like it's probably like 115 degrees.
yeah, it's like it's like living in
the
Florida.
humidity. And the humidity,
It's like living in Florida.
but there's constantly a hurricane. You know, it's a good time.
So this is also a good world for lizards.
Yes. So the impact knocked the planet into an irregular orbit around
Dinosaurs!
its star.
Dinosaur
Craft world, boom.
dinosaur DNA. There you go.
These impacts knocked the planet into
They constantly go into an like alligators. They freeze themselves. So it's like the dinosaurs.
Ryan was saying that it was a previously inhabited exodite world that was no.
it could still be an exodite world.
Would
We
there
have to
be
figure out-
imperial? Would there be imperial penal like colonies on a world that has exodites?
Why would the exodites care as long as their area isn't being messed with?
Because it's
And
their world.
well, let's get into that. Okay, so these impacts that hit the planet knocked it into an irregular orbit around its star, and now it cycles through a
cold, hot,
through a
extreme
freeze
Or-
through an extreme.
Journey to the Center of the Earth style. The
Haven't seen
exodites are it's the hollow Earth theory. So the exodites are actually in a like pocket.
like a cavernous point at the North and South Pole.
Well, they're just underground in a pocket of like perfect temperature, and then the outside world is.
Do they use what the fuck do you call those little warp gates for the Eldar?
Yes,
webways.
Webways.
portals.
Exodites use webway portals.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so that's an easy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's how they get in and out.
Yep. They don't even know
Okay.
the penal people were there.
So now the planet cycles through an extreme weather cycle with deep freeze cycles and then hot and humid, stormy.
Yeah, and
hot
they probably
humid,
have like
tropical.
geysers inside that have that atmosphere inside
Well,
that pocket.
there's a it's a giant wraith bone, or what are the gems called? Right, wraith gem.
Soulstone.
Soulstone.
Yeah.
There's a giant fucking soulstone that
they're called something. They're called waystones. Exodite worlds have waystones.
Oh, it was their crashed craft world. Because doesn't their craft world have like a giant soulstone?
They don't
like
have
that?
craft worlds. They just
Yeah, but Exodites
but-
don't have. So Exodites left long enough ago that they don't have craft worlds.
yeah.
Well, so a craft world crashed on their planet, and then they because doesn't the craft world have like a giant soulstone? It's like one soulstone that like everybody goes to.
No, they have the Infinity Circuit, which is just like kind of a collection in the middle. It's more like a critical mass than an actual object.
Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. I'm trying to think of like a way to generate a sun inside of this like cave, inside of this giant cavern. Because then, go ahead.
I've got kind of an idea of what I want to do with the Exodites. The planet used to be a dead world, wrecked by massive volcanic activity. Then it was hit by a swarm of ice comets. This swallowed it in a massive sea.
Hit by them water rocks.
These impacts knocked the planet into an irregular orbit around its star, and now the planet cycles through an extreme weather cycle with a deep freeze cycle and then hot and humid tropical storms.
Yeah, and at one point in the year, one day is paradise.
So
I like the idea of like you have.
I think
one
we
day.
should get. I think we should get rid of the idea of there being
Exodites.
like you keep going to like there's one day a year. So it's an irregular orbit, right?
Right.
I think its orbit is 5 Terran years.
Right. Yeah. I mean that would make sense. It's a longer orbit.
It's a much weirder, longer orbit. So for like 2 years,
That's
it's
what I'm
just
saying,
a
like
massive ice age. So every 5 years there's a switch, or every 2 years there's a switch between an ice age and just hellstorms. That's it. And there's a season of like
so like 2 is
there's like
the
a
ice
peak
age.
harvesting season where you can actually land on the planet. So there's probably like a month.
You're saying 2 ice
on
age,
each side
2
where it's good.
storm, and then 1.
No, 2 ice age, 1 storm, and then 2 of the heat or whatever the super hot. Like
But
the closest point.
why
to the
is
star.
there still water on the planet if it's boiling all the time?
It's not boiling. It's
Not
just,
all the time.
Yeah, it's
the
just
two-
like it's melting, causing the storms, but there's still more of it.
Yeah, it would actually be
So
kind
the
of
storms,
weird because
the storms
2 years-
just get worse.
So it'd be because of the orbit, the elliptical orbit. You would be colder longer because it's taken a longer time to come back.
Yeah.
and then it'd be hotter for a shorter period of time for those 2 points that where you're circling the sun. And then there's that Goldilocks zone where it's like, okay, at 4 times at that 5 Terran years, at 4 points, there's that paradise state.
Yeah. So it's
So
a
how
half
long?
year.
How long is the ice age? How
So
many years do these
2
mini
years, right?
ice ages last?
Well, like out of the 5 Terran years, it's going to be 1 year at one part of the elliptical orbit, and then it's going to be hot or paradise, hot, paradise, cold, paradise, hot, paradise, cold.
Right.
So it wouldn't be like, 2 years of this, 2 years. It is separated by that, but it's going to be like you're getting the seasons, what is it, twice in 1 year?
Yeah.
So you're getting 2 winters
Okay.
and two summers.
So it takes 5 Terran years to orbit the star.
And you get 2 seasons. Well,
Right.
no, you get 3 seasons.
You would get 3
twice.
seasons, yeah.
Twice.
You'd get the really good seasons 4 times because
So-
you're in that
so
Goldilocks
there's-
zone 4 times.
Yeah, you're gonna hit it on the way in and the way out.
Yeah,
You're gonna-
twice.
you're-
Yeah,
so-
but hear me out. Hear me out. You get 3 seasons twice, is what I'm saying. So you
Right.
get ice, you get perfect, hot, ice. And then it comes around again. You get ice, perfect, hot,
Ice.
perfect, ice.
Yeah.
So you're getting that sequence twice.
Yeah, twice in one
so
year.
so one season. Well, I guess one season would be, or half the duration
Mm-hmm.
is 3 seasons, or well, technically it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have 5 seasons twice,
Yeah.
but those 5 seasons.
If you were going to cut the elliptical in half.
right, but those 5 seasons, 4 of which are the same.
Right.
So yes, I get what you're saying. It's ice, perfect, hot, perfect, ice.
Yep.
And then coming
The
around
other
again,
side, yep.
same thing.
Yep. Exactly.
And that
that's kinda
duration, and that duration, if we were to break it up and just be like, hey, in total, how before you divvy it up.
The reason I like the whole paradise idea, Ryan, is because
Mm-hmm.
it's when they drop them off on that planet, when they're just like,
That's
they
when
just
it's
parachute
like,
them
yeah.
in. It's nice.
They're like,
and they're
"This
like,
is
this
great."
is, this
Yeah.
ain't bad. What, I don't know what everybody, and they fish them out and they're like, hey, get your gear on, get in your cell. Like tonight's the night. And they're just like, well, what do you mean?
Winter is coming.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, it's about to be hot as balls up in this bitch.
Winter is coming. Summer is coming.
Yeah, that's kind of why I like it, because it gives you that false sense of hope. I
I
guess
was
you could
just going to say that. I was like, it's like golf when they put the flag in the hole just
Yeah.
for hope.
All right, so this is what I have down, but my math might be wrong. So fact check me. It takes 5 Terran years to orbit its star. In general, there is 1.5 years of freezing temperatures, followed by 6 months of temperate weather, then 4 months of massive hurricanes and
Sweltering
heat
heat.
lightning.
Static
yeah.
storms.
I like
And then this cycle repeats.
Yeah. What if that's how they power their generators? Like the lightning
Yeah.
that hits the water, hits a,
know
a
what?
ground rod.
They charge batteries for
Yeah.
that time. Yeah.
I'm not even going to say it takes 5 Terran years to orbit. I'm going to say
However many
It's
years it takes to make it so it's only 1 day of
irregular
paradise.
orbit is in general 1.5 years. How many months is that? That's 18 months.
Yeah. One
right.
day of paradise.
Its irregular orbit is in general 18 months of freezing temperatures, followed by 6 months of temperate weather, then 4 months of massive hurricanes and heat lightning storms before the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah, I dig it.
So here's my idea. The Exodites found this world soon after it had been hit with the comets. It had become an ocean world, and they basically figured out, all right, we have the technology. We can use some world engines to stabilize it. So when the Exodites found it, it wasn't in this irregular orbit. It was starting to become an ocean world, but they could tell that its orbit was going to decay to a point where it was going to get slingshot by its sun just off into the universe. It was going to leave. It was going to orbit like maybe 2 or 3 times, and it was going to fuck off. So they basically landed some world engines. They landed 2 world engines. They landed one on the North Pole and one on the South Pole. And they basically used these things to stabilize its orbit as much as they could. So they got about halfway through stabilizing its orbit, maybe a little bit further than halfway through stabilizing its orbit. They almost finished. They almost got it exactly where they wanted it to be. And then the Necrons came, and the Necrons attempted to destroy the entire planet. So the Necrons waged a massive war on the Exodites of this planet. So we're talking well before humanity came to rise. This is still during the war in heaven.
Isn't a world engine? Isn't that a Necron thing? Not a.
Yeah, I mean we could call it like a spirit engine or something. They basically put these things on. They put
like a
Eldar
terraforming
technology
thing.
on
Yeah.
it. Yeah. To try to terraform it, to try to basically make it into a maiden world.
Yeah,
this is a
world engine
failed.
is what destroys planets.
It's
Right?
like Zog had
Yeah.
one.
So this is a failed maiden world.
Okay, I dig it.
So
Eldar are
they
like,
used
"Fuck this."
so they used these engines to try to stabilize it, and then while they were in the process of doing that, the Necrons came across the planet and attacked the Exodites on the world. That Necrons thought that they had killed all of the Exodites, but they hadn't. They basically almost completely eliminated the Exodites, but the Exodites had been able to live or had been able to create habitats in the deep ocean around specifically the poles. So, Tom was talking about it looking like a cored apple,
Right.
with all the oceans in it, and I'm seeing it more looking like just like a kind of like a destroyed rocky surface with all these deep fissures in it. As the continental shelf comes down, there's a huge drop off right at the edges of the poles, which allows a bunch of the extra crazy weather stuff to kind of not
It drops
destroy
off in that area. Yeah.
Right. It drops off in that area. I'm also thinking that there's a bunch of, in my opinion, and this is probably just because I like pirate crap, I think there's a lot of little islands pretty much scattered everywhere.
Okay.
They're not, I hate pirates.
I hate pirates. No, I hate people that like pirates. That's what it is.
I'm not a fan.
I just like ocean stuff.
I like
boats.
Waterworld.
Realistically.
Waterworld.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
pirates,
like
right?
any,
Yeah.
like anything
Smokers.
like that.
The
But,
opposite of Mad Max, essentially.
I like there being lots of little islands, and whether or not those little islands are clustered at the poles or whether or not they're kind of spread out. But I think the Exodites had a hidden fortress. I don't like the inner Earth thing just because it feels like the Imperium would have cracked into it with their drilling for Promethium or whatever they're drilling for by now. It would have been discovered pretty quickly.
Well, that's
if
why
they're
you had the whole
massively
Apple Core thing.
industrial.
Yeah, I like the apple.
No,
But
but common ground. I feel you.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Apple Core idea, where it's hey, we're not going to be at the poles, we're going to be in the center because at the equator is where it's most stable. But I'm cool with the whole ravines and.
Well, I mean,
they're
this
in the
is
trenches.
basically to show you we literally all got the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is we've come up with fairly different ideas.
It's brainstorming to help you kickstart your own way of I want to create a planet. I'm gonna roll on this table that
Yeah.
Ryan created.
Yeah.
This is gonna give me an idea. Hey, I can't really come up with anything. Let me try it again. This was just literally our first go at it, right?
Yeah, we're not all going to agree with each other.
No,
but-
definitely not. We all have our own ideas that
Yeah.
we want. I wanted it to be to the point where it's the planet is steamy, the water's boiling, or the liquid is boiling.
Yeah, see, which is funny because I didn't even fucking think about its orbit.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought.
I didn't
I was
even
thinking
fucking think about that.
I was thinking Avatar Last Airbender, where they're on that
Oh, yeah, I
prison.
never played it.
No, it's a show.
Oh,
Tom's I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know what that is.
So
I never heard of that
they're
video
on
game.
a prison. They're in a prison, and in that prison, they can't escape because they're on a rig, and the water is boiling around them. So nobody's ever been able to escape. That's why I was fucking
Well, yeah,
boiling.
it's like crematoria in Riddick.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, where it's it
It's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
It's cold as fuck.
you look at the sun and it fucking kills you.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
What's that? Ah! Dude, fucking read. Just he's now Ash.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's the point
All right.
of this.
Its irregular orbit is in general 18 months of freezing temperatures, followed by 6 months of temperate weather, then 4 months where the surface of the sea comes close to a boil, causing massive hurricanes and heat lightning storms before the entire cycle repeats.
Okay, can you imagine the fucking animals that would live on this place?
Oh yeah, they'd have to be gnarly.
Oh, yeah,
Well, they'd
yeah.
have to go they only come when it's almost boiling,
Right,
and then
yeah.
they dive deep
Yeah.
because it's obviously still warm at the center.
Yeah.
So this would be a really, really good planet for crazy ass reptiles, crazy ass
yeah.
amphibians.
That's
Yeah,
why
and
I liked your idea of the whole
Yeah.
dinosaurs in the core.
Yeah. Well, that's, I
So-
mean, literally dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Perfect done.
So the Eldar terraforming never finished as the Exodites were attacked by Necrons and almost
It's a plesiosaur. It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie.
and
What's
almost
what's the one
exterminated.
that spits in your face?
Oh,
Jurassic
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus?
Yeah, Dilophosaurus. It actually it doesn't spit.
No,
like, there's
no.
nothing to prove that.
Yeah, it was a Hollywood thing,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was fucking hilarious.
it's
So one of the things that I've always found kind of cool, or one of the things that I'm finding kind of cool looking at other people's, is I spend a lot of time looking at how other people do Exodites, is with the Age of Sigmar stuff, there's an underwater elf army. So there are people who have done underwater Exodites. The whole idea that their Exodite,
really?
their Exodite world is completely underwater. And that's why I was thinking like the Exodites that survived did so by hiding underwater. They have these bases underwater rather than in the core of the planet.
Yeah, I'm down for that too.
I love that idea. I have such a hard time with it because I just think of like Misa did.
It's not the Gungans though.
I know. I just
Misa
like,
Exodite Eldar.
Wow.
Misa making the wraith bone. I'm like, oh, I hate it.
I hate it.
Now I hate it. Now I hate it.
Exactly.
Gungan Exodites.
The guys are
So there's big caverns underneath the northern and southern poles. Is that was that your idea? There's like massive under.
We don't have to do that, Ryan. It was honestly like we're finding common ground. It doesn't have to be like
We're
set in
brainstorming
stone.
your idea.
Yeah. That's all it is. We can
but
keep the.
but then you compared it to gun guns, and now I want to as fast as possible in the other direction.
Let's go back to Journey to the Center of the Earth, please.
I was like, dude, I don't know. There's something about like Journey to the Center of the Earth that like I grew up with that.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, that's such a cool idea.
They did a remake, right?
Plus, also, yeah, they did. Oh man,
Was it horrible?
No, it was good, but it got me.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
have to
There's a
watch
whole
it
there's a whole part that like I full blown was like, yeah, dude. I was like, man. Like, plus it's Brendan Fraser, and I just love that guy.
I love Brendan Fraser.
No. It's just one of those things. Like it was a classic. Like, oh god, I can't remember this. The same guy that did like the Time Machine. You know, it was like a classic book written like so long ago about Journey to the Center of the Earth. You know,
Hang on, are you talking about Back to the Future?
No. The old school, the original like Time Machine.
I've never seen.
It's super classic. It's like borderline like Victorian
Jules
era.
Verne.
Jules Verne, thank you. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Jules Verne wrote these books like that, and like Journey to the Center of the Earth is all about literally like going through and like there's so many jokes now that like stem from that, like crab people, you know, like that stems from that, or people worshiping like the atomic bomb. Like things like like
from
things
Fallout
like
and stuff.
yeah, and like all of that stems from like this
Really?
type of like underground subterranean life. I mean, fucking X-Men had that.
Yeah.
Like you remember the big pterodactyl dude?
Yeah.
Like that was from Magneto, like full thing. Like, you know, so there's so much. I just like it. I like that thought of it, and
it's a good like root or foundation.
Yeah. It's like it's that whole thing. It's taking something you know and then changing it. You know, I dig it. I like it. I like that idea.
So the surviving Exodites hid in massive caravans.
Cavernous.
Massive
Caravans.
caravans.
Yeah, fucking caravans.
They went on vacation in their Winnebangos.
They
The
got
surviving
dysentery.
Exodites hid in massive caverns deep inside the poles. These several million hectare chunks of verdant paradise.
Misa got the poo-poo.
How the hell?
Because I said dysentery. Oh, I'm about to pass
Dude, I crack myself up, dude. It's stupid.
Misa got the
Misa
poo-poo.
got the poo-poo. I'm so dumb.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, dude, Ryan's not even laughing.
Yeah, Ryan's like, I
He's just
fucking hate
fucking
Gungans.
So the surviving
Fucking
Exodites hid in massive caravans deep inside the poles. These
Caverns.
I said caverns.
You
Didn't I?
said
Did I say caravans again? God damn it. These several
Cavernous? Are you trying to say cavernous?
cavernous, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, massive caverns.
Oh, okay.
Massive caravans. So I said caverns, didn't I?
But listen.
it's one of those.
God damn
It's
it.
a sand hustler.
That was too good.
I'm so funny, dude. I fucking died. I killed myself.
Misa got the dysentery.
Got the poo-poos.
These several 100,000
Televisions.
hectare chunks of verdant paradise are powered by Exodite world trees and powerful waystones.
You don't laugh that hard at my jokes.
Yeah.
Which act
He's just ain't as funny as me.
which act as artificial
That was good.
miniature suns.
It's because you don't reinforce.
All
my
right.
humor.
What?
All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the surviving Exodites hid in massive caverns deep inside the poles. These several 100,000 hectare chunks of verdant paradises are powered and protected by Exodite world trees and powerful waystones, which act as artificial miniature suns.
All right, there you go.
I dig it.
Yeah, I was going to use like a giant soul stone, but that works better.
However, these Exodites have almost nothing of their original technology and live closer
like fucking
to feral.
loincloths.
What's that?
Loincloths.
Loincloths.
Yeah, they're like Tarzan.
Yeah, they're like feral elves.
Yeah.
Feral.
However, these Exodites have almost nothing of their
Kinda
original
scary.
technology and live.
I can't take it. I can't even imagine that seriously. I just think of like a little thing like jumping out of the tree, being like, "Welcome to the wood," like,
What the fuck?
you know, like big eyes and like big ears and like fucking gnome hats. I don't know why, but that's just what
That's
shows
what you
up.
picture.
That's what I
for
picture.
Feral elves.
Yeah, that's what I picture.
A fucking tall gnome.
That's still
However,
kind of
these
scary.
Exodites have almost nothing of their original technology and live much closer.
A tall ass, half naked gnome.
Coming at you like a spider
I
monkey.
thought you were gonna fuck this up, and it's me. I thought you were gonna like make this not serious.
And live almost
it.
feral lives.
A tall ass, half naked gnome.
Yeah, I half fucked it up.
Yeah, that was good.
What else do you think of for feral elf, Fred?
It goes like one of two ways. Like one is like that, and then the other one is
Like
like
Tarzan?
No, like Gremlins 2. Or like Gremlins. You remember when they like get like fucking Mogwai like gets Mogwai? It gets wet.
Well, they turn into a gremlin after.
Is it?
However, these
They start as Mogwai and then they become gremlins.
Oh, that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah, if they eat after
No, I
midnight.
thought. Oh no, his name's Gizmo.
Yeah,
that's
it is
right. I
Gizmo.
thought his name was Gremlin. Oh,
No.
this
His
makes more
name's
sense.
Gizmo, and after they eat after midnight, they turn into gremlins.
That makes more
They
sense.
go
now.
into the little face hugger eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They're his back balls that pop off.
yeah. That's when he gets wet.
Yeah.
When he gets wet, he multiplies. But,
Oh,
but if he eats
yeah.
after midnight, I think is what it is. Then he turns into a gremlin. That's why you don't feed him after midnight.
Oh, that's right. I haven't watched it in so long. I need to watch it.
It's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie. That's right.
I need to watch that and Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yep.
No, you
Yep,
know what?
yep.
I totally did. I was totally like that. I was like, Die Hard, Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Until I heard Bruce Willis talk about it, and he's like, it's not a goddamn Christmas
I don't give a
movie.
fuck what you say,
No,
Bruce Willis.
No. You shut your fucking
No,
mouth.
it is a Christmas
You shut-
movie.
No, but hear him out.
He was in it. It's not his
No,
movie.
hear him out.
All right, let's
He
hear it,
is
let's
the
hear it,
reason
let's
it is good.
Let's hear it.
It's a goddamn Bruce Willis movie.
Shut the fuck up.
I love, dude. He said that, and I was like, yes, sir.
You're like respect.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, fucking respect. Like, and he's like, you can watch that whenever the fuck you want because it's a goddamn Bruce Willis movie. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, but how many times does Bruce Willis come around every year? Christmas comes around every year. Bruce Willis
I'm
doesn't
sure,
come around every year.
he's got a few kids. I'm sure he's come around.
He comes around a couple times a year. He's old, man.
I know. I still love him, though. He's still my favorite.
Bruce Willis is.
Bruce Willis is my all-time favorite action hero.
Really?
100%.
Really?
100%. Yep.
I'd have to say.
It was Die Hard movies and Rambo.
I have to say Arnie, dude.
Yeah, see, like, those are my top three.
Yeah.
Like, although I do love Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
God, dude. Universal Soldier.
Oh, dude, right?
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, like, it was all like Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm like, that Dolph Lundgren, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna die. John Claude was definitely a top for me.
oh, yeah, see, not even on my radar.
Really?
Not even on my radar. Didn't
Really?
give a fuck about
The
Jean-Claude
Twin
Van Damme.
Dragons, I
Nope.
think is the movie. No?
Nope.
The Asian dude that has like the big barrel and he throws it out.
I was
and he does the
never
fucking
I was
jump kick.
never a martial art fan.
Really? I was gonna say Jackie Chan's the top one.
Yeah,
for
see,
me,
I was
too.
all guns. That's why Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Those are my top
Jet
three.
Li, dude, fucking the one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Oh, well, you're not a kung fu.
Nope.
Dude,
not a kung fu.
Bruce Lee, Jet Li. I'm
Jackie
a kung
Chan.
fu guy.
Yeah, same. I've always been one ever since the Drunken Master.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've said it before.
I can appreciate them.
Yeah.
I do like them, and I definitely like mad respect. Like as far as action heroes go, I do classify them as that.
Yeah,
but it literally,
you're talking about like American classic.
Well, just like
movies,
like when I was a kid, like a British family, and I started watching American action movies.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. It was all about Bruce Willis.
Really?
He was my all-time favorite actor, and then it was Rambo. And then the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You know why he wasn't really on my radar? My mom only liked Stallone and Arnie, so I didn't watch Die Hard till I was like 19.
Oh yeah, see now that was like one of the like.
That was a staple for you,
Yeah. Like, and that was the thing too, is it was like, God, he was in so many movies back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was like, I was like, Bruce Willis!
Fucking Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but like Sylvester
It was a lot
Stallone,
of stuff, man.
Yeah.
like when the new there's been new Rambos, but when like the Rambo 4, you know what I mean? Like when that came out, this is before cosplay was a thing. I literally dressed up like Rambo to go to that movie show.
Nice.
I was so
Nice.
stoked on it. I mean, I have a freaking M60 tattoo on my arm.
Rambo's
Yeah,
definitely
like
dope.
Rambo is like my thing.
Dude, that's why when Expendables came out, like I came.
Yeah. Have you seen? There's someone who converted Imperial Guard like Catachans to
Yes.
Expendables.
Yes, I did
Expendables
see
I was
and all
like,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
was
did
like,
see that. I think it's
yes.
actually Creature Caster. It's not. They didn't convert it. It's the actual models.
Oh, dude,
So you can buy the actual models.
I want that Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is a failed maiden world. The Eldar terraforming never finished as the Exodites were attacked by the Necrons and almost exterminated. The surviving Exodites hid in a massive cavern system deep inside the poles. These are each several thousand hectares in size and are verdant paradises that are powered and protected by Exodite world trees and powerful waystones, which act as artificial miniature suns. However, these Exodites had lost most of their original technology and live much more naturalistic lives than even most other Exodites. They do still have active webways and are known through the craft worlds for breeding some of the most deadly Saurian creatures.
I dig it. And they eat the poo poo.
They got the poo poo.
They eat the poo poo.
All right.
Feral.
So the two things that we haven't really covered other than talking about why the Imperium is here, and that's to harvest promethium and other rare earths from the planet's crust, are why is it a penal world?
Planet's core.
Planet's core. Yeah. Well, yeah, I got you.
Depends if we want to add some crust.
The pizza place here in the Underhive.
Got them
Is-
sump nuggets.
All right, so the Imperium is harvesting promethium from the planet's crust with oil rigs.
Gravitic
Minerals.
drive miners.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really need a rig if you're.
Yeah.
from
So
the core.
okay. Yeah. So how's this happening?
No,
So
I
that's-
mean,
so
we can move on. I'm just saying, like,
No.
What haven't we covered?
No. Other than the Imperium is here to harvest stuff, we haven't talked about why the Imperium is here, and we haven't talked about how the penal world
They don't
actually
need a reason.
works.
Well,
They
it
don't
works.
need
It's a
reason.
fucking garbage planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
They're like, it's a shit
they're
planet,
like,
put the-
fuck that.
Put the undesirables on it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, fuck it.
They're like, look.
But
you-
why? But why? So the Imperium never spends bodies without a reason. So they're sending the people that they care the least about here, but there's something that the Imperium values from the planet.
Yeah,
Is
it's-
there
Yeah,
more-
exactly like you
it's the
said. They're
minerals.
harvesting minerals and promethium from some part of the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to
Okay.
specify. Core
It's
crust.
too dangerous for the like they get stuff, but
Yeah.
it's not like a lot.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's too
enough
dangerous.
to what the fuck is the word? It's enough to justify them having to put some bodies on the
Yeah,
planet.
to warrant the occupation.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, hey, we got another planet. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right. So the Imperium is harvesting promethium and rare minerals from the planet's crust and core.
But because of the weather, it's a very slow process. That's why it's a penal world. Is because they're like, well, we're not going to send good people here.
Yeah. And not only is it a slow process, but they can only collect
It's
it
dangerous.
like at 4 points.
Yeah,
a
they
year.
can only pick up
Well-
4 times a
Yeah.
year.
Okay. So the Imperium ships can only
It's like that movie.
collect.
That movie's so
Ooh, the Imperium space rigs, spaceports, space rigs, the Imperium space barges.
Space
So they're landing freighters on the planet, but they can only land them 4 times a year because there's only 4 times a year that.
It's stable enough.
Weather permits.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the weather is stable enough for them to drop off. Ooh, what if there's like a not like a moon, but like a satellite that they send them to, and the satellite shoots them into the planet 4 times a year when it is like stable. So that's where they put the guys in the meantime.
A
spaceport?
a planetary tether.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they
yeah.
drop down this tether from the moon that happens to coincide with the orbit.
Yeah, and the tether disconnects.
Yeah, so they literally, when the moon comes into range, it shoots down the tether, it connects, then you have a space tether.
Yeah, and then it shoots out all the way.
Yeah, and then the weather's good, and then as it starts to turn and things change, then it fucking poops it out.
Yep. I like that.
The Imperium can only drop a planetary tether
At 4 points in the orbits
Cycle.
year. Yeah.
4 points a cycle.
I like the whole tether idea. It's just kind of cool, like thematically.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in Space Engineers, we made one.
It's a planetary
The
tether.
Imperium can only drop a planetary tether from a moon 4 times a year when the weather is stable enough.
Plus, I think of Star Trek when they did the mining thing.
Yeah,
You know, and they're like fighting on it.
yeah. Like
That remake where the
Yeah,
what's the Bruce Willis movie? Not Apocalypse.
that's a game.
Really are we going with
God
what's
damn,
the Bruce Willis movie? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah,
that is a
what
Bruce
is it?
Willis game. I have fucking Apocalypse. That game was
Yeah,
It's not Apocalypse. God damn, what the fuck is
that's
it?
the game. What's
The movie with Bruce Willis,
which one?
where he's a driller, but they make him an astronaut.
Oh, fucking Armageddon!
Armageddon. There you go.
I could close
right.
my eyes.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want
Okay.
to miss a thing.
So
It's like, why
So
train
the-
astronauts to be drillers when you can train
The
drillers
people-
to be astronauts?
the astronauts. That's such a fucking dumb.
Hey, Harry
Oh my
fucking
god, I'm
Stamper,
so
man.
done. It's so stupid.
Harry
All right.
fucking Stamper, dude.
Okay. So the people who are serving out their sentence on the planet are dropped by grav shoot.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Are
Yeah.
they?
Grab shoot or the
dropped-
tether?
Are they dropped like
Like
at regular intervals, or
no,
are they
like-
just
like-
dropped?
Dude, I think
Like Predator status.
Yeah,
They're just like,
straight
yeah, I was like, it doesn't even
wake
fucking
up
matter. They just
halfway
drop
down,
them.
wake up in
like
atmosphere.
halfway down, they're like, what the fuck? Sploosh. Into the water.
Yeah, they don't even get a parachute. It just drops them.
Imperial citizens serving out their sentence
It's an old
On
school
planet.
It's an old school Starship Troopers
Yeah.
pod
Oh, dude.
from like the book series.
Well, I just think it'd be funny if it was like their bodies and the gravity is low there, so it's like when they hit the water, it doesn't kill you,
yeah.
but it
It
still
would,
hurts
it
like a
would, though.
motherfucker.
Yeah, coming
Imperial
being dropped from orbit. Yeah, they would kill you.
Nah. It's low gravity.
So they're not.
Yeah,
so
fuck
they're
it.
not.
Yeah,
they're not.
Terminal velocity isn't that fast.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's like you fall off.
still-
You're
It's
like,
It's
science
still-
fiction 40K.
it'd still kill.
Fuck it.
It'd still kill you.
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but fuck it. Science fiction.
Why?
40K.
Why would it kill you?
40K,
Because the way that water reacts when something impacts it.
Well, remember, it doesn't have to be water.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about that.
Low.
It's some other mineral,
density or some shit,
Liquid mineral. Oh, it's thick water.
That would hurt. That'd be
The
like hitting
Imperium. So I like the idea of they're either dropped with like old school parachutes, or they're dropped in like not drop pods, but whatever.
Too expensive for drop pods.
No, it's just their.
Right.
it's,
They're dropped in like whatever construction equipment. What's the construction equipment equivalent of a drop pod?
Fuck, I don't know.
I think I like the idea
a
that.
fucking bobcat.
I just like them getting dropped.
Oh, what about this? What about this? Okay, so your sentence to life on this planet or whatever your sentence is, right?
Oh,
So the Imperium craft comes into the atmosphere just enough for you basically to do a halo jump, and you're pushed out with just whatever skydiving equipment they have. And the first test is, can you even survive getting to the surface of the planet?
yeah. I was gonna say they're dropped in drillers
Oh.
because they have to resupply anyway, so they drop them in drillers. Because that's what those drills like. Those
dropped.
like imagine
Here's
like
a-
Matrix.
Yeah, here's the new bit. Take it
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, like you know the Matrix, like when those things fucking come
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the Zion thing.
Yeah.
Like we've all seen that terrain set with the giant drill
A
tractor.
dropped
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like,
yeah.
it's just one of those. Or the torpedoes.
Oh,
Fucking torpedo that
Yeah,
has
the
into
ship torpedo. Yeah.
planet.
Because they use the mining laser.
I think
you
that's
know?
hilarious, dude.
And then
Imperial
Gene
citizens
Stealer cult,
serving
mining
out.
lasers.
Yeah.
Their sentence on the planet are dropped via orbital drillers
Fucking
in resupply.
torpedoes. Oh, good luck.
Beep.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that would look so sick though.
Right.
Like one of those like the like Thunderhawks that for like transport.
Yeah.
And it just has these big fucking torpedoes.
Looks like it's got a bunch of nut sacks
yeah,
hanging off.
no,
it
just
just
the
drops
fucking
them.
like
It just drops
cigar
them.
pods, dude. It's
Yeah.
just like bloop, 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 bloop.
Is there a warden on the planet? Is there
No, it's
anybody?
like I think it's like Alien or Alien
Okay.
3.
So they're just left. They're dropped and they're given a job, and as long as they meet quota, food keeps coming.
Yeah, like
Okay,
they get
yeah.
supplies. Like
Yeah,
it's
you get
like,
your ration, ticket or whatever the fuck
yeah,
it is.
and like there's
Okay.
gangs, there's people who run rigs that basically like they're at war with each other, trying to fuck each other over.
Yeah.
So there's
As long
like
as the penal.
basically
It's probably like it's not a warden. It's just some dude that's been there forever that knows how shit works. And if you don't like comply, then you just get fucking thrown off the rig. You're like, cool.
every rig operates kind of like a mini hive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's kind
Okay,
of what
so
the
are these-
rigs are.
Are these like rigs, or are these like they've fucking lashed bullshit together to make like
No, they're rigged.
floating
They're
cities?
rigs, but they've obviously added to them. You know what I mean? Like
They have to.
So there are oil rigs there.
yeah,
Or
well
there
there's
are deep sea rigs.
yeah, there were facilities that were designed and dropped, right? And then the Imperium was like, "Yo, this place fucking sucks. So we'll just send prisoners here because we can't man it."
Yeah.
So then they
if they
started.
meet quota, we'll send them a food chit.
Yeah, so they originally were trying to man it properly, but
Yeah.
because it's so bad, they were like, "Yo, fuck it, let's get out of here. We'll send prisoners here instead." So then later, like they were dropping prisoners,
Yeah.
and the prisoners just kind of started, hey, we can make this rig a little bit better with some of this crap, and built shit.
That's what I was
onto
thinking.
it.
Like it's managed by some just old head.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and that's the thing is like one of them is. Each one
Is managed by like its own dude. Yeah.
they
Some-
operate like
maybe
little-
they're all dead. You know.
yeah,
you don't
they
know.
operate like mini hives.
Yeah.
And like some of them have like communication with each other and they trade.
They probably have like a personnel capacity, so they
Yeah.
know like, okay, this one only has 10 dudes. Like, let's send more here.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that's the case, that's the thing. Like each one kind of operates like its own colony,
Yeah.
and then like they fight over scraps that are dropped.
Yeah.
Like it kind of creates like a video game where it's like, oh god, an airdrop, and then they're all
Airdrop.
racing to the airdrop, like, and then there's a big gang fight over who gets the
Who
supplies.
gets the new guys?
Yeah, there's a movie. like
If you're
that.
picked last, you get thrown off the rig.
Well, like you have one that's like, oh,
The Rock?
we're very peaceful here. Then you have the other one that's like, let's fucking eat everybody, like
I like that.
yeah, like you have like it's fucking Waterworld. Like
Yeah.
you have like the smokers, like the Exxon Valdez, and then you have like the fucking
Ooh, what
little-
if you had like dudes that try to take over other rigs?
yeah, like you
the
could have
prisoners?
you could have
Yeah.
like pirates and shit. Like
Yeah. Well, they're only pirates like 4 times.
yeah, right. Well, that's the thing. They prep all year to steal shit,
Yeah.
and that's like their
Or-
whole thing.
Or there's people that don't fucking care and will try it all year round.
Yeah,
I mean, why not?
Well, they would die.
yeah.
It's a
Why
very
not?
it's a very very high risk it's a very high risk reward scenario. This is the best time to attack because everybody's bunkered down, but it's also the easiest time to die.
If you can survive year round, it wouldn't really make it a death world, I feel.
Yeah. No.
Well, okay.
you're-
So
you're-
I think you've got the idea of a death world wrong. A death world doesn't kill everything on the world. A death world is designed to kill everything except the hardiest. So let's say for every 100 prisoners that are dropped here, only like 20 survive the first year. That's what makes it a death world.
I was gonna say hey, you have a life expectancy of like a month.
Yeah.
That's your life expectancy.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah,
send
like
them over- okay, I
Catachan.
guess.
Catachan is such a dangerous death world, and it's such a good population to pull for the Imperial Guard, because if you make it past 9 years old, you're fucking tough as shit.
Yeah.
So you kind of work with that idea rather than like there are just conditions that murder everything. There are so many conditions that might murder you that something's going to catch you eventually.
It leaves room
yeah.
for
It's like it's like the original Jumanji movie.
I guess. I just like the idea of like, with the Riddick movie where it's like you're not gonna fucking live if you go up there. Like,
Yeah.
you will die if you're not like
Well, I mean, unless you're Riddick. You know what I mean?
Well, he wouldn't fucking survive either. He
well,
barely.
Oh, you're
made
talking
it.
about crematoria.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you were talking about like the pitch black planet.
No.
Because like,
that.
but I mean,
ooh, that'd be another dope ass idea.
yeah,
for a
like
planet.
yeah.
Perpetual darkness.
I thought about that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like that would technically be considered.
That would take
a death
another
world.
hour of the pod, but
But that would be technically considered a death world.
Right,
But
right.
Riddick is like, yeah, it's fine. I can do it. You know
well,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
I mean, he's
So-
made for it, right?
yeah, exactly.
So
Well, I mean, that's the
prison-
thing. That's
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's
So-
one of like 100, so it's more than just a death world. It's like
So here's the thing. Like, I think there probably are places here. There are situations on this planet, which we haven't named yet, that definitely hit that. Like during the middle of hurricane season, when there's like sheets of heat lightning and ball lightning coming down and the surface of the fucking ocean is boiling and there's 280 mile per hour winds bearing directly down on you, you're gonna fucking die.
Right.
However, if you can navigate between those storms, you can attack somebody during hurricane season. I think you always have to leave open that if you're tough and smart enough,
yeah, you can survive.
if you're tough and stupid enough to try to survive, you might survive.
yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
We haven't even talked about the fucking animals that are just like, nah, dog, this is normal.
Dude, like fucking straight up.
'Cause
Waterworld,
there
yeah,
is.
fucking.
All right, so
So, like,
prison
sideways
populations.
Yeah.
So prison
Spear.
populations live in the original deep sea drilling rigs built and abandoned by the Imperium in M38. These rigs were considered too dangerous to staff by anything other than penal populations.
Yeah. There you go.
Imperial records.
Yeah, I dig it. I agree. I see what you're saying. You know, leave room for the imagination.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
just like instant death if you
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like you want to have something. you
Right.
know, like,
I dig it. Yeah.
Like technically, even on like the crematoria thing, like if you hide in the shade long enough, you're all right.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Right.
during sunrise.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things.
Well, he
like,
poured water all over himself, and then
Yeah.
he lasts in the sunlight for like 5 seconds.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
Imperial
yeah, if you were to go out
records.
during a storm at that time, yeah, you'd be just like that. You have to get out of the storm. You know, same thing.
I think it would be awesome if like the water was like electrified because of the constant like lightning storms.
Oh, no, yeah. I imagine underneath the heat lightning storms or lightning storms, it's right. Like it's one of those things. Don't get caught in a storm. You're going to die.
Yeah.
And there's eels that are constantly moving around the perimeter of these lightning storms because that's how they
Ooh.
charge
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. They get it.
Imperial
it's like
records
drugs for them.
suggest that there
They
were
get high off it.
2,000 functioning. What the fuck was that?
Tickle their little eel balls.
Yeah, exactly. I feel all tingly.
But nobody watches them have sex. Nobody.
yeah, nobody knows.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Imperial
think that
records
was from-
suggest there.
I think that
there
was on the
were-
Patreon.
Oh yeah, it was.
People were like,
Imperial
"What the fuck
records.
is Tom talking about?" You don't have to.
Imperial.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Imperial records suggest there were 2,000 functioning rigs, but no census has been completed.
I mean, we don't have to have a hard number. This is really just
Yeah.
brainstorming.
So
Yeah,
so,
that's why I just threw in. This is just throwing a number down. Penal populations only receive rations and resupply if they can meet.
Quota. Just think like food chit, like the Flintstones.
Hell yeah, man. No, I think that's exactly it. Like, you know, they're probably mining this shit, and then they're filling like Command and Conquer. There's silos and shit. And like as you gather shit, your silo builds up. They fill these like silos, right? These things that get lifted by the space tether. And those are monitored actively. So there's some dude, there's probably an entire there is a warden population. They just live on that moon. Right.
Yeah.
And they're just monitoring all these numbers. And until they see the number, like they're like, well, you guys are a little low today.
What if
We're not dropping dropping food today.
The moon gets in like, satellite range and they're just like, hey, motherfuckers, stop killing each other. If you want to eat this season, start fucking digging.
Summer of the Warden.
They probably just, oh yeah. And that's the other thing. Does a Space Marine chapter pull from this world? And I think the answer is yes. But yeah, I think you're right. I want to bring up my creature, but I think we pause with this. I'll write it up. We'll introduce it maybe as a chunk of one of our lore episodes coming up when we put a little bit more work into it. And then, or we can just, maybe we'll do a second one of these.
Well, what I'd really like to do if we're talking about an ocean world is I would like to do my house
Right, yeah, the
planet
Atlantia.
and talk about animals for it.
Oh,
I don't
cool.
want
And
us
then
to
we'll bounce.
Yeah,
back.
I don't want us to like come up with a bunch of ones for this one and then come up with mine. You know, and like be like, oh,
I'm gonna steal from this.
yeah,
or some shit.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I've got one creature that I really want, and I'm bringing it up. So Mark, this is your fault because you like this irregular orbit where there's like this ice cycle and then there's these temperate cycles and there's all this stuff. There's like a feathered reptile, you know, which only survives, or its best chance of survival is during the ice season. These are like deep sea reptiles that live best underwater. But when the ice season comes up, the temperature drops enough that they can come to the surface and hunt.
They grow feathers.
And when they hunt, they've got like I don't think they've got feathers. They've got like
They probably membrane.
membrane wings.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they've got 4 of them. You know, like I'm picturing in Dune when the ornithopters take off and like their wings aren't moving and then
Kinda
their
like
wings
the,
are like moving super fucking fast. Like dragonflies or like hummingbirds.
Yeah, like the arachnid from Starship Troopers, the one that flies, the dragonfly one. Cut
Yeah.
that dude's head off.
Yeah.
If one of these reptiles were to attack you, like on a 1-to-1 basis, you'd be like, get out of here. You know, you're a 25. It's like the size of a pug. You know, it's like a 25-pound dog. It's a small dog. However, they swarm.
Oh, so
They
kind of like
swarm
the
like-
little mini dinosaurs from Jurassic Park 2?
Yeah, like flying compies.
Copies.
Yeah, I really want sky piranhas. So these are reptiles. They fucking devour anything they catch outside, and they only do it during the icy season.
Yeah.
During the rest of the year, they're 200-300 feet underwater, you
Yeah.
know, hunting other things.
When
But
the
during that
ocean-
one time,
Yeah, when the ocean freezes over, it gives them something to walk on. So they come up, they surface, and then they're now land creatures.
yeah, and they hunt. They hunt for that, you know, 18, 19 months. They hunt in the open.
What's up? Tom's thinking about
You
something.
eat
I'm trying to come up with a name.
Oh, for the planet or for the creature?
rat-
creature.
the reptiles.
Got to come up with the name for the planet too.
Recco Quill.
Recco
Krill.
Yeah, Recco Krill. Recco
I like
Krill.
that. Yeah, Recco Crow.
Yeah, reptile, gecko, and krill.
Yeah, because in numbers, it's a gecko. Yeah, I dig it.
Rekka Krill. Ooh, Rekka Krill. There you go. That's more 40.
Is that not what you said?
No, Rekko Krill.
Oh, that's
is
what I
said.
was thinking.
Rekka Krill. That's,
Rekka
Rekka
Krill.
Krill. Yep, that's way more 40K.
Yeah, it flows.
Yeah, Rekka Krill.
Rekka krill.
Rekka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RECKAKRILL. Rekka Krill. Ooh, I like that.
Rekka Krill. Yeah, I dig it. Planet name. Let's close it up with the planet name. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got any ideas?
Give me a second.
Let's see. Watery, hot, cold. Just throwing out names. Maybe pop some ideas in your heads. I want to say something like Fantasia, like something close to that.
Ambergrista.
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 How'd you come up with that?
Ambergris. It's a whale oil that's like used for perfumes and stuff.
Okay, how do you spell it?
I don't know. What did I say?
Ambergrista.
Ambergrista?
Ambergrista. I'm just give me a second. I'm
Yeah. No. I'm not saying I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I'm just saying.
Oh, I was typing it down. I was like, shit, that's a name.
You're like, it's original. The reason I'm thinking Fantasia is because of like, you know, water, splashy, paradise. Like it has like kind of all of the elements. You know, Fantasia was chaotic, but at the same time, it was also like a paradise.
What do they call that when it's the opposite? It's the same but opposite.
The same but opposite.
Yeah, like yin and yang. Like, what do they call that?
Yin
It's
and
not
yang.
it's not an oxymoron because oxymoron is like the same thing, right? Just said differently.
Yeah.
Like the balance of opposites.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, like saying that it's chaotic and not at the same time.
yeah.
But there's a word for that type of thing. Like it's a
Something like
thought.
balance.
Yeah, it's a something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like since,
You're talking about like good and evil, the balance of good and evil.
well,
like,
yeah,
what's a
like,
fancy word for it?
It's the same thing.
This is why we need Kevin, because he has like the low gothic or the gothic wording.
It's
for,
different things but simultaneous.
Yeah. Chaotica.
Oh, Chaotica. That's cool. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a 40K name.
Yeah.
Chaotica.
Yeah.
You'd have to throw in some type of warp shit there.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds kind of chaotic.
Yeah, it's true.
Dang, that's a tough one. Wasn't there a name for the center of the earth?
The core.
The core. They just called it the core.
It's the core, the mantle, the crust, geode. Think of a geode, right? Geode is a
Geotica?
rock. Yeah, like Geotica. Erotica.
Orgasma. Wasn't that a name of a hero? Orgasmo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the name of a movie.
The Orgasmo Ray.
Bizarre.
It's a Trey Parker. It's a South Park guys movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Geodesica.
Geodesica. I like that.
Geodesica.
I do like that better.
Geodesica, yeah.
Geodesa? Jessica?
Ooh, Geodesa.
Geodesa?
What about the Desica is
I like
gothic?
Desica,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like that's very gothic. I would say.
Geodesa just sounds like
Geodesa,
I like Jessica.
yeah.
I like Jessica. Jessica. Geodesica, right?
Geodesica.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
So let's
And you could
Right.
call it Aqua Geodesica. Like that could be its full name.
Yeah.
Classified as Aqua Geodesica.
Yeah. Aqua Geodesica.
Geodesica.
Aqua Geodesica 3.
The prisoners just
or
call
4
it.
or some shit like
Prisoners call it the Geo.
that. The Geo. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
You headed to Geo next
Well,
season?
they're like, welcome to the Geo.
It's like The Rock.
So,
That's
Exactly, yeah.
exactly where I was
Welcome
going.
to The Rock.
Yeah, that's
so
exactly what I was-
Rekka-Krill are reptilian sea creatures with membranous wings that live and hunt in the deep oceans, but migrate to the surface during the icy seasons and hunt in packs. Individually, they're only around 15 pounds and easy to fend off, but in groups, they can descend on a man and leave nothing but bones in a matter of minutes.
I dig it.
Not even bones.
I was going to say they eat that shit too.
Yeah, they need that for
It's
the
like
calcium.
worse than scarabs, you know?
Tooth fairies.
Tooth fairies.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Have
dude!
you ever, yeah. Ugh. Have you ever seen Hellboy 2?
Yes. Yeah.
The
Ah,
tooth fairy.
dude,
Yeah.
fucking eating teeth.
I was thinking, what the hell is the movie with Will Smith? Fuck, what the hell is it? The one where he killed the pixie? Bright.
I don't know.
Bright.
Oh,
There's a
Bright.
lot.
Yeah, where he has to
There's
kill
a lot of them, man.
Bright was such a good movie.
Dude, that right? I was like, fuck, man, I want to see more of that.
I know. I made my girlfriend watch it. Yeah, there could totally be a series.
Oh, dude, I wish there was. They came out with a cartoon or an animated version. It was.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was like.
It never is. The only time that ever happened was, or successfully happened, was Men in Black.
Yeah.
Oh, the cartoon show. Yeah,
Men in Black and Ghostbusters. Those are the only two cartoons based off of like movies that actually worked.
I'm trying to think of something. All
All right, guys. So yeah, there you go. That's a way to brainstorm a planet. Again, we'll go ahead and get this list out. Those of you who are watching this on Patreon, you've already seen the list. You saw our roles. Those of you who are listening to us through the podcast, we'll go ahead and release that up so you guys can check that list out. And again, it's just really based on the existing list in the 40k
Lexicanum.
Yeah, if you wanna head over there and read all the various things, or you can listen to our episode on planet classifications where we talk about a bunch of this stuff. This is definitely pretty cool. I like the idea that we're developing this for a crusade or a campaign. That's a dope idea, Tom. I really like that.
You could use this as the Lexicanum, or if you're not a big fan, I guess you'll be a Lexicantum. Oh!
Just
So-
stop.
I'll
I'll also go ahead and write this up. And for those of you who are part of our Discord, it will be in our community writing area, so you guys can check it out. And we'll touch back on this. I feel like we'll be back.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
think
you
we should do
guys-
like.
I was just
What were
saying,
you gonna
hopefully you
say?
guys found this interesting and maybe helped you brainstorm your own planets for your own lore. That's kind of our goal here, is to help you kind of unlock that portion of your brain to, create your own lore, because everybody feels like they hit that brick wall. I know I did.
There's a weird thing that we're going to probably talk about it a little bit more in depth in a creative writing episode coming up. But there's the whole idea of when you're given ultimate choice, you can stagnate. You have ultimate choice is bad for creative people because it lets you go. You have too many directions, so you don't pick anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you're given constraints, when you're given a list, when you're given these ideas, or you use a couple of dice and you roll something, you can come up with something a lot faster because you just start, well, this is something I now have to use this element. And
Yeah,
that
it's
jump
kinda like,
starts what you want.
Kind of like aim small, miss small kind of deal.
Yeah. And again, as you guys both pointed out, Tom, I know you pointed it out several times during this, we're borrowing from stuff that already exists. We got the idea of how do the people get to the planet? They get dropped, like from the movie Predators.
Yeah, we had a ton of references.
Yeah.
We had, Avatar, we had Riddick, we had
That's
Journey
how,
to the Center of the Earth.
Sorry, guys. There's
Yeah.
not very many original ideas anymore when it comes to storytelling.
Yeah.
So
No.
take what you know and modify it. As I
Yeah.
always say, that's like my fucking golden
Make it
rule
your
there.
own, yeah.
Take what you know and modify it.
Everything is a remix at a certain point.
Remix.
If you're coming up with something, if you're coming up with something original, kudos to you. But honestly, who gives a shit?
You suck
these
anyway.
and this is an interesting world. Like already, just from even if we were to pull this world apart and say we wanted to do something with it, I could see running a role-playing game here already.
Oh, right.
Everybody,
100%.
everybody is embedded in a prison population, and there's some reason, or shit, you could even run D&D rules and have everybody roll up elves, and maybe for whatever reason the Exodites have to venture out of their pristine caverns.
This can honestly,
else.
it can honestly be its own game, its own universe.
Tall ass half naked gnomes.
Tall ass half naked gnomes
coming at you like a spider monkey.
I really want to get back to the. I really want to get back to that moon and talk about
the wardens.
monitoring.
That's
the wardens.
Yeah.
That's no
And shit, man, my mind immediately went to Carcharodons as well. But I think we need to come up with our own chapter. There needs to be our own Space Marine chapter that specifically pulls from this world.
I like one that would pull from our hive world.
I think
from
I think
Innsmouth,
both.
or not Innsmouth.
I think Innsmouth, because remember too, like here's one thing that none of us really thought about, and I think I was gonna say when you were saying earlier, like if you got an original idea, well fuck you. I'm like, yeah, it's probably original because everybody who thinks of it thinks it's stupid and doesn't say it. But I was gonna say we have the Innsmouth Hive on our Hive world, right? Well, we also got other hives, like the Hive of Madness that none of us talk about or go there.
Oh,
Spooky Dookie Part 2.
That's where we send all the crazies.
Mm-hmm. No, we don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. No, there's no idea what it is.
We don't know.
We don't talk about it.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
It's fucking bone armor.
Fine.
It's all psych. We're not actually in Innsmouth Hive. We're under the Hive of Madness.
We're actually it's actually just Ryan in a coma dreaming all this stuff.
What is this, St. Elmo's fire?
Ryan's like in one of those like
man.
Slanesh like body cocoons.
Oh yeah, he's actually on a fringe planet being taken care of by like a spider lady.
But it feels like
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm a
perpetually
fucking
dreaming
that he's back on his hive world.
perpetually dreaming that we're doing the like underground like radio broadcast, and then like fucking some chick with awesome tits.
Kevin's actually the spider lady. Hello, Ryan.
Wow.
I'm here this time.
Somebody's
really-
actually tapping into all of this just to port it back here.
Do you really want to see what I look like?
Take me back.
Anyway,
That was a good dream. I want back in the dream. All right, so we'll be back next week with an episode of Loris Obscurus. And if you're interested in getting us some of your own lore, some of your own created planets or anything like that, we do have a Tales from the Hive episode coming up. We do read listener lore. It's something that we love doing. So you can get that listener lore to us, those questions to us, your own planet ideas to us, or tell us what we did wrong in designing Geodesica by reaching out to us through underthehiveofmadness@gmail.com or jimdarkgaming@gmail.com. As you guys heard me mention earlier, we do have a Discord community, and we will be dropping some of this information as well as the chart that we use to roll and some other stuff into that Discord. So we do encourage you to join our Discord community. You can get involved with our community writing project. It's also a pretty great way to get a hold of all of us.
Discord is actually one of the best ways to get a hold of us. I think we're all on there probably more than we probably should be in our daily lives, but that's probably the best way. We're on there. We're always talking. Sometimes we're jumping on for video games, things like that. So easiest way to access and communicate with us and others. Yeah.
If you guys want to support us more directly, you can head over to patreon.com/underthehiveofmadness. There we've got tiers at $3, $6, and $9. All of those tiers get you into our painting contest. All of those tiers get you access to our video podcasts, which is a unedited video stream of all of the things that just happened, as to where the podcast is a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more edited. At the $9 level, at the $6 level, we've got a couple of things that we're rolling out as time goes on. And at the $9 level, you can get access to some specific art that we've
At the $9 level, you get some ass.
Just for you guys.
I'm gonna sign up for that $9.
Get some of the asses.
I need to get some ass.
And at the $6 and $9 levels, you can help us kind of decide the future direction the podcast might take. Currently, we have a poll up there right now. If you guys want to influence the future of the podcast, where we're trying to figure out if we're going to do Tyranids, Gene Stealer cults, or bite the bullet and start on our fucking Unification Wars and Horus Heresy bullshit. So if you're interested in trying to sway our opinion, Patreon is the way to go.
Yeah, give us money.
Money.
If you like the podcast, please go ahead and follow us on Spotify and give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. If you are so inclined, that definitely helps us stand out in the algorithms and get more people to see the show. And lastly, if you want to see what we're up to around the general wilds of the internet, we do have a link tree. As always, I have posted links down in the description. I'm sorry, not down in the description. This is YouTube. I have posted links down in the show notes so you guys can find all of that stuff and all of those ways to contact us just a little bit easier.
And I would say one more thing. If you are ever listening to this and you find yourself laughing right along with us, I want to hear about it. So please join our Discord and let us know.
Oh, yeah. We absolutely love doing this stuff, and we love interacting with everybody.
We'd love to continue.
I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, I crack myself up on here, so I want to know that that's not just me.
It's probably just you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably just you.
I want to know if other people laugh when we're laughing.
Absolutely not.
Know?
Absolutely not. I just really wanted to say that we all appreciate the support that everyone gives us. We all wouldn't be continuing to do this without the community that we have. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to build a community, and this is why we continue to do this.
That's honestly really the truth. The community really is.
Yeah.
The community.
We out here for you guys.
Pretty awesome. That's it for 665.66 UHMR Chemrat Radio, coming to you tonight from Mama Kaz's Noodle House. If you're in the mood for some Liz Gizzard ramen, you better get on down here and ask for Marky's special sauce, because it definitely blows the walls off of his toilet.
It most definitely does. The secret ingredient? Toes.
That's what's in the hot sauce, is toes?
That's toes.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of sense. So it's not Kevin's fingers, it's toes.
It's a little gamey.
That money nut.
That
Money nut.
The money nut.
Yeah, got that money nut.
It's got pistachios. And
Pistachios.
toes.
It is.
Pistachio. Boom, baby, pistachios. That money nut.
It's a bit nutty.
Remember, don't go wandering alone in an alleyway until at least 45 minutes after eating Liz Gizzard ramen, or you might attract more than one super hungry four-armed emperor. That's been it, motherfucker.
That's been it, motherfucker. Just leave it there. Just leave it there.
Giant.
No, I like that better.
I like it.
that better.
It's over. It's done.
Hard cut.
Fuck it.
Serious.
Yeah.
Just
That's
fucking
it, motherfucker.
flip over the audio. I'm out. Shit, I'm out.
Just add a soundbite of a mic
Fucking
drop.
Mark.
Just add a soundbite of a mic drop. Dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cut it right there.